All right, let's get right into it. We're going to talk about something that's, well, a pretty big deal. How the latest Hyper-V in Windows Server 2025 is basically designed to turn your worst IT nightmare into just another Tuesday. Seriously, it's all about moving away from that frantic late-night crisis mode and into a place of complete, confident control. So let's ask the question that probably keeps a lot of you up at night. What actually happens when one of your critical servers just dies? Because we all know it's not a matter of if it's going to happen, but when. And when that server goes dark, man, the dominoes just start to fall, and they fall fast. The very first domino, the whole business just stops, dead in its tracks. All of a sudden, your sales team can't process orders, your employees are locked out of critical apps, and productivity just nosedives. And then comes the real panic moment, the data. The actual lifeblood of your company, all that customer info, financial records, your secret sauce, your intellectual property. A sudden failure puts every last bit of it at risk. But the damage that lasts the longest? It's the trust. Downtime just completely erodes the confidence your customers have in you, your partners, even your own team. And trying to rebuild that, that is a massive uphill battle. Okay, so how do we stop that whole catastrophic cascade before it even gets started? Well, it all begins with your first line of defense. We're talking about building a system that can take a little hiccup and deal with it long before it has a chance to turn into a full-blown outage. All right, to really get a handle on this, we need to get two key ideas straight in our heads: high availability, or HA, and disaster recovery, or DR. Think of it like this. High availability is like having a paramedic on site. It's local, it's automatic, and it handles immediate problems like a single server failure. Disaster recovery, on the other hand, that's like having a full-on field hospital ready to go when the entire site is in trouble. We're going to look at both, but let's start with HA, our first responder. So, the absolute cornerstone of high availability in the Hyper-V world is something called failover clustering. The idea is actually pretty simple, but it is so powerful. You basically group a bunch of your physical servers into a team. If one of those servers goes down, any virtual machines that were running on it just automatically restart on one of the healthy servers in the group. It's like having an automated safety net. And what's really cool about this in Windows Server 2025 is just how much faster and smarter the whole process has gotten. The system detects a failure almost instantly now. The cluster is smart, it figures out the best possible new home for that VM, and then poof, the VM is restarted automatically. The whole goal here is to shrink that downtime from what used to be minutes down to just a few moments. Okay, that handles unplanned failures. But what about all that planned downtime for maintenance? Well, this is where a feature called Live Migration comes in. And honestly, if you're a sysadmin, this is straight up magic. It lets you move a running virtual machine from one physical server to another with literally zero perceived downtime for your users. I love the analogy. It's like changing the engine on a car while it's still driving down the highway. And why does this matter so much? I mean, the business value is just huge. You can finally do all that maintenance, patching servers, upgrading hardware, balancing workloads, right in the middle of the workday. And nobody will even know. In Server 2025, this whole process is even faster and more robust, which, let's be honest, makes it an absolutely essential tool for any modern data center. But wait, there's more. The toolkit is packed. You've got Storage Spaces Direct, S2D, which is this awesome way to build super resilient, super fast storage just using the disks inside your servers, so you're protected from drive failures. And then there's this incredible new feature, GPU partitioning. This is so cool. You can take one massive, powerful GPU, slice it up, and share it across a bunch of different VMs for your AI and machine learning workloads. And the best part? Those VMs can still be moved around with live migration. That is a total game changer. And just to give you a little perspective on the kind of raw power we're dealing with here, get this. A single virtual machine in Hyper-V 2025 can have up to 240 terabytes of memory. No, that is not a typo. 240 terabytes. We're talking about absolutely massive, enterprise-grade scale for the biggest, most demanding workloads you can possibly imagine. Okay, so we've got a single server failure handled. No problem. But what about the unthinkable? What happens when your entire primary data center gets knocked offline by a flood, a fire, a power outage? Now we're graduating from high availability to true disaster recovery. And this right here is your lifeboat. It's called Hyper-V Replica. What it does is it just quietly and continuously copies your running VMs over to a second location. Now, that location could be another building on your campus, a rented spot in a data center, or, and this is huge, right into the Microsoft Azure cloud. It's basically affordable, built-in DR that frankly makes this level of protection possible for almost everyone. And the way it works is actually super simple. First, it makes a full copy of your VM and sends it over to your recovery site. Easy enough. From then on, it only sends the changes, so the replica is always kept up to date, just sitting there ready to go. So if disaster does strike your main site, all you do is hit the failover button, and that replica VM just spins up and comes to life. Your business is back online in a tiny fraction of the time it would take to rebuild from scratch. And check this out. For those applications that are just absolutely mission critical, the ones you cannot afford to lose ever, you can even turn on what's called extended replication. This is wild. It takes the copy that's at your second site and replicates it again to a third site. We're talking about layers upon layers of protection. That's how you get some real peace of mind. So, all these amazing features we've been talking about, the clustering, the migration, the replication, they don't just happen in a vacuum. They're all built on top of a seriously solid foundation. So let's pop the hood and look at the engine upgrades in Server 2025 that really make everything faster, smarter, and just plain stronger. And the thing to really get here is that these aren't just a random list of new features. It's a whole system-wide upgrade. For example, the cluster monitoring is way faster, so the system can react quicker. The networking is more reliable and faster, thanks to something called switch-embedded teaming. And this is so important. Features like shielded VMs make sure your data stays encrypted and safe even when it's being moved around between servers or sites during a failover. Okay, for the last part, let's zoom all the way out and look at the big picture. Because all this incredible power you have on premises, it doesn't live on an island. The real magic, the real strategy is how it all connects with the cloud to create one single, modern, and truly resilient data center. You know how it's been for years, right? You've got one set of tools for your servers in your own data center and a totally different set for everything you have in the cloud. It's a mess. Well, the future is all about unifying that. With Azure Arc, you get what we call a single pane of glass. One place, one control panel to watch over, manage, and secure your Hyper-V VMs right next to all your stuff running in Azure. It's a huge deal. And this really brings it all home. Hyper-V isn't just the standalone thing you run on-prem anymore. It's now the absolute core, the engine that powers Microsoft's hybrid cloud solutions like Azure Stack HCI. The whole point is to seamlessly bridge that gap between what's in your data center and what's in the cloud. So if you take away one thing, let it be this. Windows Server 2025 isn't just a collection of features. It's a complete story about resiliency. From a single disk failing all the way up to your entire site going dark. It's one cohesive ecosystem designed to protect you at every single level. And it's all managed through a modern, hybrid-first strategy. Which leaves us with a really fascinating question to chew on, doesn't it? As our on-premise gear becomes this incredibly powerful, this scalable, and this tightly woven into public cloud services, what does the word cloud even mean anymore? How are we going to define it tomorrow?